Hello everybody, it's Danny back from Deepsouth Homestead. Guys, Wanda and I love citrus, and we have got a pile of them. We've got a bunch of them in the high tunnel, and now that it's warming up, we don't really see any hard freezes coming again. And if it does, we're close enough to the buildings here, I think we can cover them. We're going to be taking them out of the high tunnel and letting them spend the summer outside. A lot of them are just fixing to start blooming here. We've got little places on them here. We can tell these little blooms starting to get ready to start popping out. The old leaves are ready to come off. And we want to put them outside in their environment and see if they'll do okay out here. We're going to put them right up against the building here where water comes off on them. Keeps them watered regularly. And we're going to be up potting. Now this pot is a 15-gallon pot. And it's just a little too small. This tree has stayed this size now for about 2 years. It had satsumas all on it last year. But Wanda and I want to see if we can actually up pot this into a much larger pot, which is a 25-gallon pot, and see if we can actually do this. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it. We put a little extra dirt in the bottom of this, some good potting soil. Got some time-release fertilizer in it. I got to come back and I'm going to come up about 4 inches on the sides here and drill me some holes around it so it don't hold water. And we are going to see if we can get this tree out of this. A lot of times these trees, when they get to this size, there'll be a little bit root bound in it. And I don't know about this one, if it's that point yet, but we're gonna see if we can get it out of there without all the dirt falling off the bottoms of it. Now sometimes you have to kind of bump these pots around the side. And citrus roots are kind of like fine, hairy roots. So it might come up out of there. I'm not sure. I have to watch with my leg and my back. I may have to get Miss Wanda to help hold the pot. See if this thing will, it'll come up. Okay, we're gonna get this plastic off of it.
We won't need it with this.
That one has holes in the bottom of it. That's a landscaper's pot made for water to run out of it constantly. We put plastic in the bottom of it where it would hold a little bit of water in the bottom. Okay, Miss Wanda, when I pick up on this, I want you to jerk that plastic out. Okay.
Woo! And y'all saw the roots everywhere.
Yeah, it wasn't root bound yet, but it's getting pretty close to where it might be. So it's time for us to up pot. And we're gonna take here, we got some more potting soil here. We're gonna take this.
Did you want to bring it up some more?
I really need to bring it up some more. So what we'll do is we'll put a little potting soil in here. All we gotta do is pick up on the tree. It'll go up under it. Just shove it all around. I'm gonna have to go get another bag, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
This was one that already had a hole in it. You don't always get good bags when you buy it by the pallet.
Okay, now pick it up.
All right, let's just kind of. Okay, I don't want it all the way to the top.
One more time. Getting close.
I think that's going to be pretty good right there.
Look at that.
Look at that. Got little blooms on it. I am just tickled to death.
And it's got to come away from the building. It can't touch that metal because that metal gets hot.
I'd turn the tree around.
Yeah.
Well, the metal, this summer, it might get kind of hot. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The sun's going to move back over this way. But it's up under the peach tree here a little bit.
So we don't want it touching the metal, so it's got to...
The citrus trees love heat, so...
And we got one peach bloom right there.
Yeah, the white tree.
Right
the white
here.
peach. Yep, it has some blooms on it.
It's starting to bloom out, so
yeah.
Peaches are going to be blooming shortly. The cold didn't get it. Isn't that awesome?
No. Matter of fact, it might protect it. Because once this tree gets satsumas on it, the limbs will bow down and hang down. They'll actually be down here. It's amazing how much them little limbs can hold. But they'll eventually bow down here. And another reason for putting it out here is we know the pollinators will find it. And they smell so good. Me and Ms. Wanda just love the smell of it here. When we come out between the breezeway here or come around to the chicken pen, we'll have a couple of 3 citruses right here. We're probably going to put 3 or 4 more right over here. And then we got the orange tree right here. We got good cross-pollination between all of them. We should hopefully It's in a protected environment in between two buildings here. So hopefully it'll help us to produce a bumper crop this year of all of our citrus trees. So we got to move on now and see if we can get the rest of these in. Well guys, we came back out here to the high tunnel. I thought I would throw this in with it while we're moving our citrus trees and y'all are watching us. I wanted to show you some of my cabbages here. And I want to show you something here. This is a cabbage that is grown normally. I mean, I want you to look at the size of this cabbage plant. This thing's probably 2.5. I mean, my arms are 3 feet long, so that's 3 feet across this whole cabbage plant here. And this is what a normal, pretty cabbage is supposed to look like. It's forming its head down in here. It's not hard yet. It's got a little ways to go. There's one behind me here. We got 3 cabbages right here. These are like the most perfect cabbages you could ever imagine. There's another one right here that's leaning out toward the outside right here. These are perfect cabbages. Okay, this is the white seedless grapes we have in the high tunnel here. This is almost unheard of in the South. 99.9% of the time when you plant seedless grapes in the South, they cross with wild muscadines. So we figured if we put them here in the high tunnel, maybe, just maybe, we can grow some white seedless grapes in here. Now we have protected these from the freeze, and it looks like so far we've done okay. And this is March the 14th. So far we've managed to protect them from the freezes, and we've got them this far. And hopefully, for the first time in my 60-something years, I'm going to be able to experience a white seedless grape grown in the deep south if nothing happens. We had another grapevine on this end right here that was identical to it, and it kind of kept shriveling up and the leaves kept curling up on it, and finally it died. And I told Wanda, I said, I'm a little bit suspicious about what that is. I said, but I really thought I had gotten it all out of our high tunnel here. But we planted this cabbage. I want you to look at this cabbage now. This is planted exactly the same time as that other one over yonder is. I want you to look at the abnormalities of this cabbage. The leaves they're not laying flat like leaves are supposed to lay. They're twisted like this one. This one here is twisted. They're curling outwardly real bad. All of them are curling down, curling out. And this right here summed up exactly what I was thinking while my grapevine died here. This pot was one that was left in here that had some manure in it from where the cows had the hay that had grazon on it. So grazon has destroyed this cabbage here. Now, see how the little head is there, how it's making? Just a teeny little head. There's a piece of trash, that's not a worm. It's just a teeny little head like that compared to those others over there that's this big. The grazon is destroying this plant. The aminoprylids in it is completely destroying this plant. Before I pull this out, I wanted to show you guys the difference that grazon and what it does to plants. Now we're not going to eat this. We're going to pull it out and get it out of here. Now to the average person, this would look like a real healthy plant. But to me, I know the difference. And I'm sitting here looking at this thing going, this is crap. You know, this might look like a pretty plant, but this ain't worth using. And I'm telling you, guys, I'll be pulling this up, getting rid of it, because it's got aminoprylids in it. I can look at it and tell it. And then we're going to take this pole out right here. I'm going to move it over, and I'm going to put it in another pot here and put some soil in it so I can plant something in it. I'm going to dig all this soil out of this pot where I can get it out from under here. And I'm taking all this soil out, and I'll probably put it on the back of my pond dam or something like that where the cows graze at, and put it back out, because grass will pull grazon out of the soil, and we'll just let it fertilize the grass on the back of the pond dam or something. So this pot has grazon. It will have to go.
In my greenhouse, we had all this covered, a lot of it, and nothing got hurt. Everything looks awesome. Even the potatoes made it. I've added a few plant seeds in here this week and a couple of plants, and we're fixing to be redoing the English peas. But overall, this high tunnel did great through the freeze. The green onion bed did great. Nothing happened to it. None of them froze. Danny's carrots are all there. Nothing happened to them. We were worried about them, but they're there. It just looks like dirt unless you get down close. And this strawberry bed, we didn't lose any of it, so it didn't freeze anything here. As we showed you in here, we started moving the trees out, and what a difference it makes in this high tunnel without all the trees. Danny moved all the peppers in here. These are going to be their 3rd year to grow. Isn't that awesome? The 2 over there be their 3rd year, and we have one down on the end down here that'll be 3rd year. All these are our blackberries. They're blooming. Gonna have little berries all over them. We didn't lose anything in here. And look at the cabbages. Still growing, still beautiful. Nothing happened to them. They did not freeze. And look at the grapes. These are the seedless grapes Danny was worried about, but all of them hung on. And this whole bed of strawberries is blooming. They're dark green, looking really great. And look at this peach tree. Isn't that awesome? All the blooms that hadn't come out are popping out now. We might lose like this one here. You see how bad it looks? But look at all the new ones. And as long as we have new ones, I don't mind if we lose one there. And we've got bees everywhere. So if these will hang on, we should have peaches. Because only a few had popped out before the storm, the cold weather got here. And look at the apricots. Usually we lose all the apricots every year. And it's hard to say if we'll lose some of those on the bottom there or not. But you see, it's all still budding out. And like I said, the bees are everywhere. And look at this. They're just everywhere. So we hope that some of these will hang on, and we will have an apricot on some of these limbs throughout here. This is just amazing. We know all of them won't hang on, but look how many. It's beautiful. And this is the 3rd high tunnel, and this was what we were working on at the beginning, moving these big trees out of the Kingdom, or Danny's 1st high tunnel, getting them over here into the 3rd high tunnel because it's bigger, has more area. And y'all, I want to show you something we've discovered. Look what we found on the cherry tree. It's fixing to bud out. And you can see little spots everywhere. So the cherry is fixing to start blooming. It didn't hurt it. All these trees are budding out. Nothing's happened to them. And we're fixing to clean this side up, roll out the ground cover, and put trees along this side, and then leave the middle for some other type of planting. But look, I can drive the Ranger through here. It's amazing. We're going to have trees on each side. I think it's well worth it to protect these fruit trees. I'll show you where the citrus went in a few minutes. We're going to leave them outside for the summer because citrus can take the heat. And most of these could probably take the heat, but they can't take some of that brutal sun. So that's why they're in the high tunnel. And the little potting shed over here, Danny's got a few of his plants popping through. A few of the sweet potato slips. These are the white sweet potato slips. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? And then we have a few tomato and zucchini and squash over here that look pretty awesome. These are a couple of trees that we bought. These are citrus trees that we will get out in the next few days. We've been gradually planting as we get a chance. And look, this GreenStalk. My thyme did great. My Malabar spinach up in there. Look at this strawberry. Y'all, it's getting there. The strawberries do good. I've got a few volunteer potatoes still in there. None of this got burnt back, guys. I've got blooms. The GreenStalk did great. I covered them. And look at this one. Patty and I planted beans in this one. And look at the beans coming up. Y'all, GreenStalk's having a sale. If you're interested, look in the description. A St. Patrick's Day sale, I believe. All kinds. Now, this is the leaf GreenStalk. And this is the regular one. The pockets are deeper on that one. The pockets are shallower on this one. So this one has like 7 tiers. This one has 5. That's the difference. You can plant more in this one, but if you want something with has deep roots, you need this one. This is Danny's sweet potatoes, regular sweet potatoes, and look, we are getting a few slips starting in them. So that ain't gonna be long. He's gonna be planting sweet potatoes. And my North Fork pine did get bit back a little bit. It was already looking a little rough, and we're just gonna put it outside shortly and see if it doesn't perk up in this hot weather. One thing we were really worried about was with potatoes. Most of this row has not even come up yet. This row, most everything's up, and about 3/4 is up on that row. Y'all, they're beautiful. We covered everything, and I think there was only down on the end down here 4 or 5 that I had to cut a limb off of, or a leaf that got burnt. But the rest look amazing. So these potatoes, some of them close to 12 inches tall. They're getting there, guys. They're looking awesome. Time to add some dirt. Looks like our huckleberries are going to be okay. We might lose a few, but you see this? We've got berries and we've still got blooms. If the berries fall off, we still have blooms on all the trees. So the huckleberries are going to be great. Just look at this tree. You see how many blooms that haven't even popped out yet? We're talking thousands of huckleberries. This is one of our kumquats, and as you can see, it's new leaves. Hopefully some kumquats will come on in the near future. They're not there yet, but look at the kumquat. And Danny just brought this out of the high tunnel. Look at this. This is the Freedom Blackberries. Look. Isn't that gorgeous? And look over here. And up here. We brought it out of the high tunnel and sat it over here. And we have another kumquat that we just saw that hasn't been potted. We're going to bring it out here and put it in the landscape and let these stay outside. And you know it's springtime. Look at the clover already out, guys. Look at this. We have clover all over the place now. And this is the first 2 that I've seen pop out. And look at that. It's going to be red all through here. Look at the green there. All that's clover. It's going to be beautiful before long. 5 days ago, this wasn't even budded out at all. Look at the blooms. Almost full bloom now in less than 5 days. It's pretty awesome. And look at the fig tree. You know the signs by the figs. Look at this. We're going to have figs. It's amazing. Probably the one thing that we are really sad about is this tree right here. This is our mulberry. It was in full berry mode. I mean, hundreds of thousands of berries on it. And now look at all the brown. I purposely waited a few days so that I could show you what they look like. Now some of the leaves are still good, but you see some of them have done turned brown. And look at the berries. Now it won't say, some of them may hang on, but most of the berries are turning brown. If you look all down on this. And if some hang on, that is awesome. But look how many berries we lost. I mean, just look at this tree. The whole tree got burnt. This is the one sad part about the whole freeze is our mulberry tree. The blueberries are looking a little weird, but there was so many of them till they may or may not make it. It's according. They're kind of like the huckleberries. You won't ever know until they start putting on berries whether they're making it or not making it, whether the freeze got all the blooms. And look at the bee. He's pollinating, so that means some of these are doing good. See, these are still white looking. Some of those are still red. And I even see berries already. Look at this. Y'all see berries? Huh. This is amazing. The English peas seem to be doing good here. We didn't lose any of those, I don't think. But English peas like cool weather. The mayhaws, all the blooms held. Looks like we've got little mayhaws all over it. So I don't think the weather really bothered it either. And this is our plum trees. This is the herb garden right off of the house. This fruit tree here that I said, it was a satsuma, but we just had a piece left from an old satsuma tree, so we don't know what the root stock was. It is blooming for the first time, and the blooms are holding. And Danny planted a navel orange here, and it is blooming, which is awesome. See, it is blooming. It's one that we just got. And then he put this as my lemon tree, and it is full of blooms also. So we've got the lemon tree. It actually has little lemons on it. See there? We actually have lemons and blooms on this lemon tree. And to the other side, this was just kind of a dead space in here. And we decided to put all the citrus right here. We've got them on blocks because of fire ants. So we have all these citrus trees. Some of them are blooming. Some of them are getting ready to bloom here. And our big orange tree that we covered. We were worried about it. It is starting to put out here, you can see. And down here, it's going to be blooming out in there. So the cold didn't kill it. All our citrus are going to be in this area that normally we just have dead space here.
Well, guys, we've been out working since the hard freeze. Only real bad tragedy we had out of the freeze was it did kill most of the mulberries and the leaves on the tree. It did a pretty bad job to that. The rest of everything, the onions, it did break the tops down on them. The wind leaned them over, but the sun's kind of drawing them back up. It did bite the tops on all the potatoes over here. Even though we had the frost cover on it, the freeze still bit the tops of all the potatoes. Miss Wanda had to go through with the clippers and clip all the tops out of the potatoes. It was bit real bad the next day. And we've got all the fruit trees now moved. over to the other high tunnel as you've seen. It's warmed up a little bit, and as a result, all the trees are beginning to pop again. And just in time for this weekend, we get down in the 30s again, but I don't think it's going to freeze this time. I think it's just going to be like 38 or 39. I don't think it's going to be anything real bad. But the next thing, like with this garden right here, we've got to do what's called ringing the onions. We'll come in here and we got to go to every one of the onions now, because the daylight hours are getting around 11 or 12 hours, and we got to clean all the dirt out and leave nothing but the roots in the ground, because the little bulbs are starting to form. And guys, that's about 200 onions or better. So it's going to be a kind of a ordeal, because I can't get down on the ground now. I'll probably just end up laying down, because my little roller thing, my little tractor seat bench thing won't fit down through the rows, because the wind broke all the leaves over on the onions, and I don't want to damage them or anything. I'll just have to get down on the ground and just scoot along like I did when I planted them. So it's going to be one of those things. Well, guys, we're going to carry you along in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to show you the progress of everything. We've got to, like I said, we got to ring all these onions. I won't be bringing any more dirt up to the potatoes, because these are fingerlings, and they don't require to be deep underground. They grow mostly just right up on top of the ground, and we've bedded them up. And unless I see that the dirt's washing away or something like that, I probably won't do anything else. The big issue from this point forward is going to be putting the nitrogen to these onions. As probably now I'll do it every week until they make about a 3-inch bulb, and then from that point on, I'll just let them go and do what they're going to do till they start breaking over and dying out on us. So a few more fruit trees to go in the new high tunnel, and ringing the onions. Guys, we'll take you along when we get to that point and show you what it's looking like from there forward. Thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.